Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the next series in our webinars. Today, I'll be covering a topic on mental health in the workplace. I do hope you'll find this webinar useful and also join us for any future webinars we'll be running throughout the year, which is all advertised obviously on social media. So we'll keep you updated with any dates and topics, and that will be later in the presentation as well. So firstly, I wanted to introduce myself to you. I'm Lynn Berman, and I am HR business partner for Clover HR. Just get the equipment working. So I am working with a various number of employers on a range of topics, such as dealing with short-term, long-term absence, disciplinaries, policy reviews, contract reviews. And I've been involved in mergers and acquisitions, and certainly at the present time some medium to small scale redundancies. And I've also been involved in restructures and downsizing. That's just a little bit about me. This is a small snapshot of the Clover team. We haven't been able to get together since lockdown. This picture was taken back in last March. So we are your trusted people advisors. We are a specialist team. We've all got specialisms in different areas of recruitment, learning and development, coaching, health and safety. And we will provide valuable support for your company. The picture was obviously taken. We're hoping to get together after the lockdown and we'll all meet again. The team is expanding rapidly, and we've all got our areas of specialism. So at the end of the webinar, I'll provide you with any contact details for you to ask any questions or queries. But throughout, obviously, if you want to ask me anything throughout the presentation on chat, then please feel free to do so, and I'll try and answer yours at the end. Again, it might be of a confidential nature, so you may want to contact me afterwards. So could I ask that you keep your microphones muted at this stage throughout the session, just to keep the background noise to a minimum for me to concentrate and get the best from this. So what we'll be going through on the presentation: what is mental health, signs to look out for in your employees, what your duty of care as an employer is to your employees, how to manage and support employees, and ways to improve mental health for employees and the part you can play in doing that. There are many types of mental health issues. An issue can happen suddenly because of a specific event in someone's life, a bereavement or a death, or it can happen gradually over time and they don't see it coming on. Mental health influences how we think and feel about ourselves and others, and how we interpret events. So it affects our capacity to learn, to communicate, and to form relationships, sustain relationships, and potentially end relationships. So in many ways, mental health is just like a physical health. If everybody has it and we need to take care of it. Mental health is also described as a level of psychological well-being or an absence of mental illness. So someone is in a state of functioning at a satisfactory level of emotional and behavioural adjustment when their mental health is good. And mental health problems affect 1 in 4 people in any given year, so it is on the increase. We need to be aware of it. We need to look out for it, just like you'd be aware of bad backs, injuries. We need to be aware of this as well. So the signs to look out for in your employees who may be suffering mental health issues are long-lasting sadness or irritability, extremely high or low moods, excessive worry, fear or anxiety, a social withdrawal from events that you may be running, and dramatic changes in eating or sleeping habits. So they might be tired all the time, they might be hyper, they might be losing weight, they might be gaining weight. All these are little signs to look out for. And mental health can also be hard to identify because people want to hide it and mask over it and cover it. So you need to be quite aware of how your employee may be changed. Other signs to look out for in your employees who are struggling with mental health are their emotional state. So if they're irritated when you ask them something, or sensitive to criticism, and this is obviously in a work environment quite prevalent, a loss of confidence in their work. Their cognitive behaviour, so making a lot of mistakes with their workloads or poor performance, you might spot. Behavioural, so arriving late for work, no lunch prepared, unofficial time off, acting out of character. Just look out for these signs. Physical, so they're constantly tired, constantly have a cold, constantly ill, and their business acumen, so increased absence and working long hours. I think you need to be quite aware of this, certainly in a workplace environment. So of course, not everyone who experiences mental health will exhibit obvious signs like this. So it's important for a manager to ask regularly how people are doing and their team, and create an environment where it feels open and honest so they can talk about their feelings. So your duty of care as an employer, you do have a duty of care from day one, from offer. So we need to make sure you're fully equipped in order to do that. So this includes making sure their working environment is safe and encourage conversations and freedom to discuss. So protecting staff from discrimination if you see anything going on, having policies in place of equal opportunities, bullying, harassment, and carrying out risk assessments. Now, risk assessments does not just involve health and safety in that sense, but it's the work environment you're working in, such as long hours, unrealistic deadlines, structure of the organisation, who they're reporting to, flexible working not being offered, especially in these times. So other steps you can do to help your employees is to talk to them regularly. I'll be stressing this quite a lot throughout the presentation. And you need to allow them to have an environment where it's free and open to talk. Always try and be approachable and listen to their problems when needed. Okay, so how to manage and support your employees. There are ways you can help and support your employees with their mental health issues. So make sure employees have regular one-to-ones, so they can have an opportunity to talk about their problems. They may not want to, but you're opening that opportunity to them. Encourage positive mental health in the workplace and do not make it a taboo subject that is never discussed. Tailor your management style to suit each employee. We all know everyone has different personalities, different ways of working, so adapt to each employee and their personality style. Try and resolve any problems at an early stage before it escalates into something bigger. Leaving a problem and thinking it will go away is the worst way to deal with it. If you address it straight away, it hopefully shouldn't escalate and you can nip it in the bud straight away. Arrange a meeting with your employee and approach positively and be supportive. So there are training courses available on how to deal with difficult conversations if you don't feel comfortable having that conversation with someone. Alternatively, obviously HR support is there that can have that conversation. An employee may not want to talk about an issue, and this is something that I would stress a manager should monitor. So it makes sense for organisations to make changes that will help employees attend work and or reduce the pressures on their mental health. So usually small, simple changes to their working arrangements or responsibilities will be all that's required. Any adjustment should only be made following discussion and agreement between the manager and employee on what might be helpful and what is possible. Remember to support your employees as well. When other employees become aware that a work colleague is suffering, it's the other people in the team as well that feel distressed and upset for them. So make sure you look out for all the other employees. A manager should be prepared to support the team, the whole team, more than they usually would if you had a situation of mental health within that workplace, and it will affect everyone. Where an organisation has additional support services such as mental health first aiders, employee assistance programmes, use these to the maximum. A manager should also promote these services on a regular basis so everyone is aware of them, doesn't forget they're there, and it's a tool they can tap into if they don't feel comfortable talking to other people about it. So if your employee is absent due to mental health, you'll need to manage their absence sensitively and in a different way. They could be absent because they're too ill to work, or it could be because of the medication they're on, and it's not safe for them to carry out their job. So make sure to support your staff while they're away from work. So a manager should agree when and how regular contact should be maintained, set a timing. So I will speak to you every Wednesday at 9 o'clock to make sure you're okay, is that okay, and get agreement. So be positive, professional, supportive all the time. Agree what the employee would like their work colleagues to know, so the communication that's going back to the work, they don't want to feel paranoid and wonder what everyone's talking about. So gain their support in that and gain their agreement. Not pressure the team member to return to work before they feel ready. So talk about what it looks like, what the future looks like, and really encourage them on a phased return if possible. So if they worked 8 hours a day, every day, maybe 4 hours a day for the first week, 2 hours for 3 days, just talk about what they would feel comfortable with. But it is important to discuss this. Use occupational health where practicable to look at ways the organisation can support the team member back to work. If you have that within the organisation, great. If you don't, you can do this yourself and just talk to them about how comfortable they feel. But maintaining regular contact is vital. They need to feel part of the team still. They need to feel you care. An absent employee may request no contact. But again, as I stress, this is crucial that it's not accepted. They need to make contact with you. It is a part of their terms and conditions that they maintain contact. However, you do have to manage a mental health case sensitively and agree with them the timescales and when to meet. For additional support, many organisations again do have an occupational health provider or tap into the HR resource that you have, and this will help. If, however, you feel the mental health issue is possibly due to a manager that they're working with, it may be preferable for them to have another point of contact for that person. So just be aware of what the reasons are and who deals with them. Okay. So during the coronavirus pandemic, your employees may be working from home, and I've seen an increase, obviously, in mental health cases during this lockdown because of the different working environments that people have had to get used to. So they might be working from home, they might be leaving the home to go back to the workplace, and this could make them anxious, or they could be on furlough and not know what's going on within the company. In any of these situations, they may find it hard to look after their mental health and well-being. So they might be working excessive long hours, be under pressure, have childcare responsibilities, or difficult to cope with minimal social contact, and they're not used to just working on their own in a room. So there's no right or wrong way for them to feel in this situation, but some common feelings may include stress and anxiety, and you will see this displayed in their behaviour potentially in the workplace or on the phone or on a networking platform. So if your employee already has a mental health problem, it's particularly important to talk to them about how they're feeling and coping. As their manager, you could look to give them extra support and advice within this situation. So to help support your employees, again, you can encourage the following. So get them to stay in contact with people, have regular team talks, get them to talk to colleagues about how they're feeling if they don't want to talk to you. Encourage them to have a routine, so they plan in advance what they'll be doing each day, go through their work structure, what do they want to aim from today, and try and help them to plan that. Encourage them to make time for activities they enjoy, so try and encourage their work-life balance, so they get to do best of both things. And get them to reflect on what helps them feel more positive and what doesn't. Some workplaces offer counselling, and it's usually offered through a scheme of an employee assistance programme, an EAP that's often known as. So but other things you could do is have mental health champions who encourage the attitude change towards mental health and talk about it quite openly. Offer support in other ways, such as mental health groups, and I'll go on to some ideas later in the presentation of some external charities that can help you in this situation, and you can lead people too. So ways to improve mental health for your employees. Encourage your employees to connect with people. So good relationships are important for your mental well-being because it can have a sense of belonging to a team and sense of self-worth. Give employees an opportunity to share their positive experiences, talk about the weekend, talk about what they've been up to and what they've gained, provide emotional support for them if they're upset or over a time. Encourage your employees to be physically active. Now, this is definitely known for improving physical health and fitness. Has evidence to state that it can improve mental well-being as well. So it raises their self-esteem. It helps your employees to set goals and challenges for themselves, and also causes a chemical change in your brain, which can help to positively change their mood. Encourage your employees to learn new skills. So research suggests that new skills can boost confidence and boost self-esteem, helping to build a sense of purpose, helping to connect with others. So encourage your employees to give to others, create a positive feeling and a sense of reward for them, give a feeling of purpose and self-worth, and helping them connect with people are other ways for them to improve their mental health as well. There is help available out there on the web and on the phone and face-to-face as and when things return to normal. These are just a few pages for you to take away from this webinar of help that is available out there. You'll see it's listed. There's 3 pages here that I've put for you of different organisations that can help you. Again, if you don't feel comfortable or the employee doesn't feel comfortable talking to you, maybe prompt them in a different direction for them to get external help, so you know they're being helped and their issues aren't being ignored in any way. So in summary, poor mental health is one of the biggest issues in the workplaces today. And as a HR professional, there has been an increase in this issue. So we have to be aware of it, we have to address it. There are many types of mental health issues, and it does have an impact on the individual and can severe repercussions on the employers themselves. Productivity, motivation, culture. We all need to look out for mental health in our organisations, not just as managers, but your colleagues as well. If you work with someone closely and you feel that something's changed, don't be afraid to address it. NHS have recently run a campaign of Ask Twice. So when you say, how are you? And someone says, I'm fine. If you ask again, they might give a different answer. And that's something that the NHS are trying to encourage people to do. And don't be afraid to ask how someone is. If they do open up to you, give them that opportunity and encourage a positive, open working environment where you are. Get help from professional services if you have it, so occupational health, HR, and whether the employee is in work or absent, always keep trying to help them. Don't ignore the problem because it could escalate. And finally, encourage your employees to connect with other people, encourage your employees to be physically active, encourage your employees to learn new skills, and encourage your employees to give to others. It may seem like common sense, but this could really help someone with a mental health issue. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope we've covered a lot of topics, so you could watch this back. And it is an important topic and something close to my heart, and I hope you found it really useful. Let me know if you have any feedback or comments. We have got future webinars coming up, and I've put the link on here for you to go to. There are different topics that we are going to cover: redundancy, inclusion in the workplace, performance management. So all these go on in an organisation that could help you. Alternatively, contact the Clover HR website and have a look at what there is there. My contact details are here, so don't hesitate to get in touch with me or Clover and ourselves. If you'd like a copy of the webinar, please email myself or contact Clover. Alternatively, it'll be on YouTube. We have recorded today's session so you can watch it back, or if any of your other managers would like to watch it after today, then feel free to do that. Again, if there is any questions of a sensitive nature, please do not hesitate to get in touch with me and I can help you. Thanks ever so much for listening.